Nick, y'all ready?
Y'all ready?
Ready.
Fine. Go ahead,
I'll leave the order. Welcome all of our guests. Let's do our pledge of allegiance. Scott, you lead us in, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Annette, would you lead us in the invocation, please?
Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening. We thank you for all the many blessings of life. We thank you for our city and the citizens of our city. We ask you to be with us as we make decisions that pertain to the city and help us to be wise in our decision and make the decisions that would best serve the people of our community. Thank you for all the many blessings again, and be with us tonight, and be with all those that are represented here. We ask in your holy name.
Amen. Thank you, Annette. Okay. Number one, I'm going to make a recommendation to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Make that motion.
I'll second. Thank you, James. All vote? Okay. Okay, number two, we have got to hire a part-time employee for the library. I think we had one quit, and it was bring us up to date on where we are and what we plan on doing here.
Well, we have a part-time lady that fills in when Star has to be out, and she's quit. And Mary Schatz Frank has made application for the part-time job. And I know Mary, I think she's a fine lady, and Star has recommended her. And I'd like to go ahead and hire Mary for that part-time job at $6.50 an hour for 90 days. If everything's working out, then she'll go to the minimum start pay of $7.50.
Okay? I ain't got no problem with that. And that knows her.
Is that a motion? Is that a motion?
Yeah, I'll make that in
I'll second that. Good. All in favor? Thank you. David Hawk. David, you here? Come forward, please. David will talk to us a minute about the Chamber of Commerce. David, you come up here and tell us what's up.
Well, the Chamber had requested that the city increase the Chamber's funding from the current amount to $2,000 a month. I think we discussed it at prior meetings, so we could hire a full-time Chamber director. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer those.
Well, we funded at $900 and something a month.
It's right at $1,000 now,
So
$987.
you're asking us to increase it to $2,000 a
Yes,
month?
And you're going to hire somebody full time?
Yeah.
If you, David, if y'all talked to some people yet,
We have not, we're waiting, for the council to approve the funding increase. If y'all say fit to approve that tonight, then we'll have an ad in the paper this Saturday.
But we have full-time chamber person.
Yeah, we have had, in the past, I guess Jamie Christian was the last full time.
how much did the city pay, David, when we had a full time? That's for my time, I don't.
It was around 17,000, that's been probably 19 years ago.
What are y'all proposing to pay a full time?
The board recommended that we pay the position by 24,000.
David, do you have a written job description for
Yes.
a new?
Yeah, we have a
full-time?
job description for that.
But do you have a new one? Because you've got a part-time person.
Right,
now.
the board met and we were, Susan Morrow has revised that, so we did have a job description. And the board will interview, all the applicants that apply for the job.
You're requesting $24,000 or you're requesting to go to $2,000 a month. What type of budget do y'all have as far as the things that you do?
Well, pretty much, the funding that we get from the city, goes to, pay the chamber director and payroll taxes.
Everything else kind of takes care of itself.
The events, we, hope that all the events that we have will, cover themselves, and, we usually get about, $6,000 and $7,000 in fees. That, covers other expenses that we have, telephone, monthly expenses like that. So what, we'd be happy to, go over, a budget with you.
I'd like to see even the job description, see if you got a job description, I'd like to see that.
I would like that too, I would like to see your budget and a job description.
Sure, we'd like to get that.
David, I go along with what Annette and Rick said, and I think I would also like to go ahead and pretty much make the mind up to can harm,
Right.
don't harm, but let us talk to her, if you don't mind.
Right.
Her or him.
Right, we'll be happy for, we'll
I
have,
agree with that.
depending on how many applicants we have, we may have several, different times for the
Zero in on a couple of them.
Right.
Have you had anyone show any interest?
I've had 2 people that have contacted me directly, we haven't, any application for any resume. I've had 2 people, that have called me about it, and we've had another person I have talked to directly, who's resume.
How many people sit on your board?
14 people.
Everybody active?
Pretty much, yeah. We've got, 3 new board members this time. And we met last, Thursday, and all board members were present, except for one.
When they go off?
It's a 2-year rolling term.
Got any positions need to be filled, or all filled, or?
Well, right now, they're all filled. The board could, we could vote to increase the number of, we like to have as many participants, if we have more people that want to serve on the board, then, we could increase the number of positions. Right now, the bylaw.
Like anything, the more activity you have,
That's right.
What kind of time frame do I want to put this on those before the next meeting?
I have no problem going ahead and let's do the funding if y'all want to. I mean, we know what the funding's got to be, as long as we know what the, as long as we get what we're requesting and are involved in the hiring. At the moment, we know what the funding is. I mean, is that fine with y'all? I mean, I think we,
Thank you very much.
I'm fine, but
I think we can get
through that.
I think we need to get rolling.
You have a second change motion?
I'll second that motion.
Okay. All in favor of going ahead and establishing funding?
Yeah, I think we need to, let's go ahead and just all over.
Vote, raise your hand.
Huh?
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have a ad in the Saturday's paper, and then we'll contact you if you want to come to the interview
Well,
process.
we
We'll
said
get you a
it's funding,
budget.
and David knows what, he can pay somebody.
Is anybody opposed?
David, you go for it?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
David, you just bring that job description and a budget, and then you just bring it by City Hall.
Either that, or we could meet weekly, once you have,
Okay,
written.
yeah, if we get several applications, we'll probably have a call meeting for an regularly scheduled board meeting.
When's your regular, I missed that one last time.
It's the second Thursday.
I'm sure.
And second Thursday, and we've changed the meeting date to lunch. It seems to accommodate the board members. The last meeting was our first lunch meeting. We had,
David, we've talked amongst ourselves about looking at some, cities that are in our surrounding area that have full-time chamber directors that are very successful in what they're trying to do. And I'm sure they have job descriptions, but, I know there's things that this, council would like to see, the chamber do, and, of course, if some of those things are not in there, we might want to make one.
I think probably the closest chamber that would be, and they're a larger chamber than our chamber, is the Franklin County Chamber. And they have 2 full-time positions.
But they are a county-wide chamber instead of.
Sure, well, yeah, Russell's, of course, the largest city, and they have a few members of that. But they've had a full-time director probably 15 years or more. find out what issues should get done.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. well,
Thanks for coming, David.
Thank you.
Next is the city cemetery. You, daughter, somebody come forward here. Let's see if we can get this put to bed tonight. Here is, the cemetery regulations, grave site selection, grave digging, marker placements, and not to dig graves without permission from the committee. I think the only thing that any of us, or me particularly, the rest of those are pretty much no-brainers for getting permission to dig grave, and, but is the fee to be charged for grave.
You feel like it's too high?
No, I don't. I'd be fully willing to pay $250 for a grave. We got a couple of people in the audience tonight that want to come forward and talk, but, I guess people that's already got sites there, I don't think any of them particularly should object to $250 for my taking care of the grave the rest of their life, but I guess everybody has the right to object to whatever they want to. How y'all feel about that?
Well, when we started this trade, we're coming from the council 3 years ago, and y'all were great. Matt David come out and cleaned all day and helped us, and Jesse has helped us. Right, we didn't pay him anything. And Jesse thought, y'all have helped us a lot. And we wanted to do this on a voluntary basis. People just donate money to help us replace things, like we've got a gate broke right now that needs replacing.
Is that working?
No, that is not working, and that's why we had to come up with something else. Now, it is working for a lot of families around here, because the same ones have donated for 3 years.
Yeah.
But they came to us and said they didn't feel like it was their place to carry the whole load, keep the cemetery up. So that was our last resort, was to charge.
Even at little county country cemeteries, my parents were buried over in Edgewood, Winston County, matter of fact, and they got $100,000 in special care fund where people just donate money.
Well, I'm president of Lovejoy Cemetery, and we've got trust fund for that little cemetery, and we don't spend anything we can.
How much money they got there, do you know?
Well, I don't really know. I know we got 25,000, and then another one for 15, and I'm not sure.
How much have y'all got right now?
5,000, something like that.
This is another one of my concerns, and everybody else I've talked to. The way the cemetery is right now, it's going to be first come, first served basis. Nobody has a plot for sure, because there's nobody to regulate it. What's to keep somebody from out of town coming in and getting right next to somebody's wife and a husband? We've had that,
Actually,
right?
who's gonna make them dig them up?
That's right.
Yeah, nobody
I
can
mean-
pick them up.
Right, and that's the problem I feel like we're gonna run into. And we talked to Haleville, Red Bay, Bria, Hewitt, Winfield, all of them charged. They said they have to because they don't have the money to do it.
So if I wanted a plot in the city cemetery and I paid whatever the fee is
Right.
to get that plot, it would be marked and nobody else could go in there.
And you would have a deed.
What we'll have to do in is get it plotted off and put a number on every place, and then give you a little deed to it. And then nobody can do it, but this committee, somebody meets them down there and see that they're put in the right place.
How many places are laid down there?
Not a
Any
lot,
idea?
not a lot. That's why I said the problem is fixing to be here. I mean, it's soon coming that you're gonna we've already had one family that had a road marked off and somebody come in and just put a stone there right in the middle of his family's plot. And you're gonna see that more.
And nobody can say, don't do that, If I've got a spot marked out, so if somebody comes down there and buries grandma there, I'm not gonna do that.
You know, we just feel like that it's gonna be a problem, it's
Bill,
something.
you on the cemetery committee, you got any input?
I'm for whatever they're for, I'm for.
Well, that's easy.
Well, one of the reasons we formed this committee was because we were having so much trash in the cemetery. You know, there was garbage thrown in the cemetery, there was limbs down, there was
Well, I
kids
just
playing in
commend
the
you for doing what
cemetery.
you've done. I know you put a lot of work into it, and it does look a lot better.
It does.
Spent their own money to do it.
Appreciate
He had put, his own money in it, I know he has. I'm gonna ask Mr. DeSantis just a minute to come forward, but, I was talking to him in my office today. This is like the one I told him, we don't want, it's not a profit-making thing, we wanna see if we can keep enough money to keep the cemetery up, maybe put a new fence around it, y'all talked about putting a new vinyl fence around it.
That's our goal.
Profit, and that is, other than that, I think we can probably get enough donations to keep it, raised, to keep it, we'll mow it and keep the land picked up, all we can do.
Yeah.
I started the donation, so I can give $1,000. And, then I spent over $2,000 on cemetery. But I'm not gonna do nothing now, you know.
You gonna pay for the grave time?
Yep. I'm gonna back up and pay for mine, yes. Give my money another day.
Kidding.
Yeah, it's not anything that, you know, the city will never make money out of it, because it'll be put in the fund to, you know,
I don't know if a cemetery, or city cemetery, know whether they might have charged something for it.
I don't know, and now all of your churches.
$250 might take a few graves, returns is pretty good buy.
Right.
Let me ask you this, have we ever had the problem of somebody out of the city coming down there and burying somebody?
Well, the last problem, the only problem we really had, the people live in Illinois, they've been here 50 years. And they come down here and bury the one right in the road, where the city, I go down there.
Well, I went and looked at that, and they've also got another marker there that'll be right in the middle.
That's right. And I got down on my knees and begged
But
them.
see, if they had to come and got permission, we would stop that.
And we've got to have access to get into the cemetery, you know, that's another main thing.
That's what that road is for.
Right.
Yeah, I put a telephone pin back there to put the old flowers and all in. I had one home I wasn't using. And, they tried, the city comes in and hauls all that trash off. And, you know, they don't have to run over the road.
Is anybody got any problem with putting a $250 fee on the grave in that cemetery?
You know what these are here to talk about, I mean, they've got another side of the story
We
that
need to
Sandy,
hear
that we need to hear.
Yeah, come on up, Mr. Sampson.
I'd like to hear their side of it.
Miss Maxine, you coming up? Miss Maxine's a head food teacher, she done said the Richard Kyle for him, Mr. Senator, go ahead.
Well, what I was curious about is, you pay the $250 up front and then be issued a grave? Because I've got family
That's what,
that's got lots
you
there
answer the question.
that have got, I think my brother's got 4 plots already marked out. They've been marked out since 1974. And he was curious too, does he have to pay up front the $250, or would it be at the time of burial?
That's a good question.
The only way, you know, you could secure a spot is to pay up front. And that's what we were talking about, the deeds, you know, you would have to have a piece of paper saying that somebody got buried in your spot.
If not, well, what's gonna happen, people's gonna come in here and bury somebody in your spot like you told you.
Right.
They're not a thing in the world, nobody can do it.
Roy and Miss Maxine was very congenial and nice about it, they just didn't understand the problem.
Miss Maxine's been up there with us when we've been claiming, she sure has.
Well, if this same problem hasn't happened to him, my brother Roy Sanderson, there was someone buried in his plot back years ago. And so he had to move down. So he had to mark another spot, so I understand exactly what you're talking about. Okay, no, we're just curious as to how
Yes,
this is.
yes.
I understand, and we're in
And that
agreement with
is
it.
a good bit of money, I mean, you know,
We're in agreement with it.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Okay. Thank you, Roy, Ms. Maxine. I'm gonna make a recommendation that we adopt the rules that, you and the committee has, set forth.
I make a motion that we approve the bylaws of the,
Thank you, Ms. Van Adel.
city cemetery.
Thank you, Richard. All in favor?
Thanks for y'all's work.
Thank you a lot.
Did you vote?
Okay,
Let me ask one more question.
yeah.
Plot. Have you found out anybody that can do the plotting and stuff of that nature?
No, because we haven't had the authority yet to do that. And, it's, what I understand, it's gonna cost somewhere around $5,000 to do it. But that's the only way in the world we can do it, is probably law, and then give them a deed to it.
But we may be able to do some of the footwork in the plotting as far as putting where the grave's already on.
A local surveyor come out and
Right.
survey portions of it all. Probably should be good.
What we wanna do is put it on, Nottingham or something, so it can be in the city and you can look at it and tell if the grave went to here or, you know.
All right. Thank you, Keith.
Okay.
Fire truck, I talked to Baron, late this afternoon, and I think, Andy, and I got some good news on the fire truck. Bob Cashman has, completed it, he fixed the head on it, serviced the truck, and we've got it back at the fire station. Baron went and cleaned it up. Bob says he feels real good about it, but the only way to know is get it out and drive it. So Baron can come get it out and run it and try it and drive it. But right now, we're looking right around $2,000 for the head. Everything that we've done to it, and it runs good, and it looks good, and Bob feels very confident about it. So hopefully, we lucked out on the fire truck. Baron, I told Baron to clean it, get out on the interstate, drive it, and get it hot, see what happens. But Bob said he feels good about it, and I got confidence in Bob, and he's done a good job on it, and I think we lucked out. He certainly didn't make no money on it. I'm sure it paid price for the head and everything, but that's where we are on it. So, Richard, police department,
Two separate
turn it over to you.
Two separate issues I want to talk about. We had a car that was totaled out, exactly the date of when it happened, that we got to replace, so we're gonna need to take bids.
Richard, was that the deer?
Yeah. We had to hit it there, and then hit the sign up at Anthony's, and tore the sign down, and
They have
about
split.
10 feet, and they run across the top.
So we're gonna have to replace that car, so we're gonna be taking bids on a car around 36,000 miles, preferably a 2001 or newer, Crown Victoria, with a police package. We'll be taking those bids.
Richard, I talked to Ricky late this afternoon, he seemed to think that we'd probably get somewhere around 5 if we didn't get the adjusters, so we're hoping to get about 5,000 miles out of those cars that are ready.
Okay. And I'm gonna also bring up, I'm gonna go ahead and make it in the form of a motion. We've talked about this at length for quite some time, that bridging the gap of time and pay for two officers that we've got, which will top them out. And I wanna make a motion that we raise the pay for Wade Hollis and Roy Lee McKay. We'll raise Wade 60 cents and Roy Lee 85 cents, and that will top them out. And that's the motion.
Johnny, second, okay, all in favor? Okay, thank you again. All right, Alabama Power Building. I'm gonna talk just a second, then I'm gonna let Scott come forward. We talked to our company back, some time ago to, trade them some property in the new, Golden Ridge Industrial Park in exchange for the, old Alabama Power warehouse down by, on Airport Road, on the corner. The council wanted to get it appraised. Here is the appraisals on, both, parcels of land. If y'all want to be looking at, watching down, I've got it folded down where price is. It came out about, and Ed has done seen it, I know, it came out about $10,000, $5,000 difference. The land raised $5,000 more than the building. While everybody is trying to look at that, Steve and I have talked at length, and I'm gonna, if we do this and we swap the building, the land for the building, which I think is a no-brainer that we do, I'm gonna suggest that we move the water department. Shane and I talked about this, and we're looking to talk about it. We're gonna move the water department to the old Alabama Power Building. Now, you still pay your water bill at the city hall. It would be a stop and warehouse and stuff. Shane, you want?
Well, if they need something like that, the place they got, you know, they give more room to the street department and also give us a lot more, give the water department a lot more room for their equipment and, you know, to take better care of the equipment and also give them room to
Steve,
do something.
don't come forward and tell us why you need this building, why you like to have it.
That pretty much it. I think most of all of you's been in our shop building. It's just real huge building. It's getting real old. This month, our gas bill just to heat it was well over $1,400 to heat the old shop there. And another thing we deal with, of course, years ago, it was the old wastewater plant. All the sewer years ago come right through there. Of course, now we moved our new plant built in Pine Airport, but all 90% of downtown sewer and everything still comes right through there. So, you know, in the summertime, the boys work out there, so you can imagine, with, you know, and the old building is just real low, and just be a good access to the power building. I've looked at it, of course, you'll just heat and cool the office place for the boys. Have lockers for them, showers for them. A lot of nights we go out, come in and move from one end to the other. You know, we work a lot of.
So you won't even put it in
No, just pretty much 3 to 4 rooms off, so that's it. And actually, the shop area at the power company's bigger than ours, to park our equipment. Of course, we won't try to heat and cool it.
Steve says he can put every piece of equipment he's got inside the building, and Matt Davis, Jeffy, has said that he could put and use the space for his equipment in Steve's old building, street department. Because he's got a lot of.
It'd be a good, you know, good storage.
Well, there's 5.17 acres down there with that building, and
Yeah.
I think what's inside the fence, I don't know exactly how much is in
I
there,
don't know
but,
where it spells it out there.
that's probably not over an acre.
It's fenced in, secured good, the building seems to be in some paint, clean up in good shape. But it'd be a real access to the water department, because if you come, we're gonna have to do something. I mean, it's coming to that point where we're at.
How much repair is needed on that building?
Oh, what little, I went through it real quick one
No,
day.
you talking about the pipe under there? I don't see
A lot, some cleaning and some paint, pretty much. Well, work,
I don't see any, there's no leaks or anything.
the roof and all, looks to be in good shape.
Okay, Steve.
The good thing about this is, and I said this even from the beginning, and I want Power approached us with the possibility of the substation going into the Fulton Bridge, which, just because we make this swap, doesn't mean Alabama Power is just going to build something. That's not what this is saying. It's going to give them land in order when industry does come into the Fulton Bridge site, they're going to have land that's ready for them to put a substation down there which will power anything that comes into our park. The piece of land that they're offering us with this building is to me, a very viable piece of land as well. It's over 5 acres. I certainly would see them to be happy in a new building, but also, that's a portion of this town that is growing. I look at that land being, I think right now it's more valuable than the land that we're spotting, because there's stuff going on close to it, and the possibility of an industry that could locate there from the airport. I think it's a good swap, but I also want there to be understanding that if there's somebody comes and says they need 5 acres and they want access right there, I'd like them to have that access with jobs, not just for the water department. You can expand this into a bigger facility. I'm all for the swap.
Okay, Richard, I agree with what Richard said, and, you know, the city, ever who the mayor, ever who the council may be, will have control of the building, so, absolutely. When that time comes, if it ever comes, so, with that said, Scott, you got anything else to add to this transaction here? That land is right on that transmission line, and then up the park where that big transmission line goes across, right where that land is, and power company's future will be, if anybody's ever been to Fayette, if they, when and if they build that facility there, it'll be somewhat like that facility they built across the college, and Fayette, a distribution center, a warehouse, and a substation. So, come on, Scott.
I'll just speak briefly, but to do this, there's a couple of things we have to do. The first is pass an ordinance declaring the Fulton Bridge property unneeded for municipal purposes at this time, and agreeing to do the deal with Alabama Power and to take back as compensation the land at the airport, and that needs to be one of those immediate consideration deals where you suspend the rules. And additionally, y'all will need to approve the plat, and regardless of if you do the deal or not, you need to consider approving the plat, which I gave y'all a copy of it. Goodwin Mills and Kaywood completed. That's got the proposed lots for the entirety of the park with the roadway in there as well, and mapped out. If y'all been down there, you can see that the roadway is under construction there as well. And I believe it's lot 1A up in the upper left corner. That's where the new building is being constructed at as well.
Okay,
Well,
Scott, you want to get in? Yeah, sure.
This property is subject to covenant,
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
and, if we vote to do this deal, the deed would need to state that it's subject to the park covenant.
That's correct. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, those covenants run with that land forever. Whoever has it.
I'm going to go back by and going to process with industrial development, this time, if you feel.
Yes, and one of the things that we were talking with some of the investor board members before this meeting, it's important to realize is if Alabama Power has this, they will still be subject to those restrictions, which will prohibit them from then going out and marketing the property and sell it themselves without it coming back to us.
We ran into a problem on another piece of property in the Bedford Park where we didn't do that. And now we'd like to have some of that land back, and we can't do anything about it. If we use that in the deed and referred to the covenant, then we could have taken that land back and used it or let somebody else use it.
That's correct.
Is tonight the first discussion that our industrial board had on this? No.
I think their problem would be to have, just making sure the covenants, I think that's the problem.
Just make sure that it is subject to the covenant. That's my concern right there.
Okay, Scott? Okay.
Is this council ready to vote on this tonight?
I am.
Y'all are comfortable with it?
Tell me how we're trading. Are we trading even, 36 acres?
Trade deed. Yeah.
We're trading monetary value, Pete. We're not trading even one land.
There won't be any money exchanged.
No. We'll get the building in 5
Where does it say how much this in our park down here is worth per acre?
It's in the other appraisal. It's
$5,000 acre.
appraisal 5,000 acres.
Is that what we get for it?
Then I make a motion we go into immediate consideration.
Okay. Give a second one with Scott.
I'll do that right.
I'll second it.
Any second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you.
Is there any vote? Everybody vote aye?
I didn't vote on it, so.
Okay.
You're going to vote on something.
Okay? All right.
Well, we got to make a motion for the ordinance. We need to get an ordinance number, I don't know what that be, if it's the first one we have a month.
I think it'll be the first of the year, so I think it'll be 2008.
Okay.
I'll second
Okay. Second on it, all in favor? Okay. All right. Mr. Bill Fine, going to be on the agenda tonight. So, Mr. Bill?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Hold on a second.
Don, we need to approve this class, didn't we? So it can be recorded. He asked us to approve this new
Okay.
class.
I'll make that motion to approve this.
All right.
When does this become effective?
Not now.
All right.
We not go out and get that building right now?
No. We gotta make
They
it.
got a truck, so they gotta get out of it. No.
I'll make that motion.
it. I'll second it.
All in favor? Gotcha. Okay, Bill. I'm ready for you now.
Okay, Scott and I talked about this, briefly this afternoon. Of course, we're talking about when the furniture place went belly up back in, I think it was July 9th this year. And, I wanted to, Scott can probably, bring us up to date on it. All I know is what I read in the paper. And I and the other people were interested in what's been done since then. Y'all all read it back there in, July 11th. On the Journal Record. And, Scott does, where is Scott? There were two bond issues, is that right?
Yes, sir. Let me just say that. I'm getting in every time. I believe the first deal was done in 1992, and
How much was in?
I want to say roughly 1.5 million. Does that sound right?
The first one was made, no?
Then you take a note and give them additional.
Okay. I was thinking that they were both roughly for the same amount, but
And then the other one, what, the last one was what?
I think that's the 1 to 6 million, 1.6
So
million.
we're looking at two of them, right? Two
Yes.
bond issues.
Yes, so roughly the 99 version replaced the 98 version, but.
Now, was the first one, were there individual guarantees, were individuals guaranteed the repayment of it?
That's
The second one?
that's my understanding, yes, sir.
Do you know who those people were?
On the first one, I'm not for certain, but there were 4 principal owners of the company. I'm not for certain about the guarantees, but it was Jeff Strandberg, Craig Smith, Steve Logan, and Joel Logan, I believe. And then the 99, when the deal was redone, it was Craig Smith and Jeff Strandberg were the personal guarantors.
Okay, and I noticed the paper mentions, manufacturing guarantees. Is that correct?
I guess so, I'm not for sure what.
And then probably the first thing is personal guarantee. In other words, we've got individuals that guarantee to pay the loss.
Yes, sir.
And, as I understand it, you're of the opinion that these people are financially responsible and could pay it?
Well, that is correct to some of it. All times, these were limited personal guarantees, up to a certain portion. And my understanding is initially, with the 99 version, when that was done, it was done to the effect of they guaranteed up to a half of the principal. I'm sorry, I'm saying that wrong. They had a limited personal guarantee, but as principal payments were made, their personal guarantee was reduced, and by half. Well, Mr. Smith came off, I think, in 2000. He got out of Colby. He requested to be removed. The bonding company and the city voted at that time to remove him as a personal guarantor and replace him with August Strandberg, who was Jeff Strandberg's father, who came in to run the company at that time. And his personal guarantee was actually for more than Mr. Smith. It was only to be reduced by 1/4 of the principal payments. And to back up his guarantee, he put up his stock in General Motors.
And that, you have, his stock in that was estimated to be worth how much?
Between $400,000 and $500,000.
Yeah. So do these people these guarantees that remain liable on this, do they live in this area, this general area?
Jeff does not, and Mr. Strandberg, I'm not for sure where he lives. At one time, I understood he lived in Connecticut, but, and that's why when he signed his personal guarantee, he went ahead and signed over his stock to the trustee, and the trustee now, since the company went belly up, the trustee has possession of those stocks.
Okay, now, was any collateral put up when this, in either one of these bond issues?
Not to my understanding.
Okay, the question is, why are we going after these folks? It's been since July when they went belly up. What's been done about trying to get our money back from them?
Sure. And the way that those documents are drawn up, and there's been a lot of behind-the-scenes activity. What happens is they pay as the bond payments are due, so that the next bond payment is due in April. So the city will have to make the payment, and then the city will come back and collect on those the trustees' stocks. So the city would basically get reimbursed.
So far, the city hadn't had to pay anything. Is that correct?
The city paid $24,000, I believe, somewhere between $23,000 and $25,000 back in October for the interest payment.
Okay. And how often does the city have to make those payments?
The payments are principal and interest in April, and then interest only in October.
Right. Okay. All right.
Don, let me ask you a question. I've heard something tonight that I didn't know. When he asked if there was collateral, and I know we've got the General Motors stock, the collateral was the building
Oh, yes, ma'am.
and the equipment and the land,
Right.
along with the pledging of those funds, right?
Yes, ma'am. I was thinking he was asking if those individuals put up.
Okay, I wasn't sure what he was asking, but it was confusing.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, then theoretically, if these people were that signed the personal guarantees, if they were pursued, they'd have to pay it instead of the city, right?
Right. Well, I mean, they'll have to pay, the city, the way the documents are created, the city will have to pay first and then come back and collect from the guarantors.
And the first time the city paid was $23,000 in October.
Yes, sir.
And how do those come up?
Payments in April and in October. The big payments in April.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't guess the city has any compunction about suing these people, do they?
Well, I don't think it'd be necessary to sue August to get his, since we've secured his stock. It's just a matter, at this point in time, it's a paperwork thing. We've got his collateral that he put up for his personal guarantee in the trustee's possession. So there's nothing more that we have to do other than when we make the payment, request the trustee to basically cash out the stock and to give us the check back.
That will be done each time we have to pay it all.
Yes, sir.
So let's see now.
Until his personal guarantee is taken care of.
All right. And who is the trustee? Is it David Edgar?
It's a First Commercial Bank.
Sir?
First Commercial Bank, Dean Matthews is the
Sir.
trustee.
Where is that, Birmingham?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, now, you see, we want to get our money, we want to get our money back, you know.
Sure.
And, I haven't seen a lot of activity on this.
in the last 7 months. Haven't seen much happening. Of course, I'm not blaming you. You do what they tell you to do, you know. You're our lawyer, not Mr. Harper's personal lawyer. You understand that, don't you?
Oh, yes, sir.
You represent us, and you're responsible to us.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, so I guess we can depend on you then, that every time we have to cough up the payment, that you'll pursue that from these people we're talking about, right?
That's my job, yes, sir.
As soon as it happens, okay. We're solid on that.
Yes, sir.
All right, now, am I correct that, somebody mentioned the number of acres, I forgot, was it 9 acres comprising the building?
Yes, sir, that's what we talked about today. I believe it's something like 9.9
Okay, now the
acres.
9 acres and the building and everything is in it when it went belly up belonged to the city, didn't it?
Yes, sir, it's always been.
Where is at the time that it went belly up, there was a lot of equipment in there, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
Where is it?
It is, in Mr. Hamrick, who was the operator of Kobe at the time, it's in his possession.
What's his first name?
Eddie.
Sir?
Eddie.
Ed?
Or Eddie, yes, sir.
And his last name is what?
Hamrick.
And where does he live?
And Haleville.
Sir?
Haleville.
Beg your pardon, I'm sorry. And he was participating in the running of this
Right.
endeavor when it failed?
Yes, sir.
Well, how did he came and got this valuable equipment? Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Who authorized him to get it?
There was no one that authorized him to get
Well, who
it.
gave him a key to the building then? I mean,
Well, I mean, he ran the building. He had a key out the entire time.
did he ever run it by any of y'all that he's going to get our equipment out of that building? Mayor, did he ever talk to you about it?
No, sir, he had not. No, sir.
Good. And did after they went belly up, was that there's a good bit of valuable equipment in that building, wasn't it?
There was equipment in there, yes, sir.
And it was sufficient to run that business. I don't know how long that business has been there.
Presumably.
Several years.
Right, yes, sir.
Working, I don't know how many people. And I'm at loss to understand why our collateral was moved out of the building.
Well, that's a good question, and it was a question that we would like to have had an answer to at the time. There was a mistaken belief on his part, is my understanding, and he has paid up some money for some of the equipment, and it's still an ongoing legal issue that we're in discussions with about the proper payment for the rest of the equipment.
Scott was the equipment that was inside the building at the time the company failed. Right after that, was the appraisal made of all that equipment?
Yes, sir, we had an appraisal.
Who did that, do you know?
It's a gentleman out of Nashville, and I'm drawing a blank on his name.
But did he have some expertise in this type of equipment?
Yes, sir. I checked around with several
Good.
different people, and he was highly recommended.
And do you know what he appraised it at?
He gave, at my request, two appraisals. One was like a fire sale. You've got the equipment, and you got to get rid of it. And then he gave all things being in the best condition, fair market value, and it basically ranged from $25,000 to $45,000 on the two appraisals.
So, I'm not the smartest guy on the block. I understand what he's doing with our equipment. Why he got it? Who authorized him to get it? Has he ever been before this board here about this?
I don't think his attorney's been
Once
before.
it came to a point, when it becomes a legal issue, there's not a whole lot we can do. We can't go pound the guy and get the money.
Well, I think he could file suit. I think the city could file suit against him if he's got our stuff.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
we have. We've done it.
You got a suit filed?
No, not filed a suit, but we have pursued ways of getting our stuff back.
Okay, what are the ways that you
He just told you 2 or 3 ways. He just told you we got, whatever it was, how much it was worth. We've already recovered some of the money.
Okay, how much have you recovered?
About 30,000.
Sir?
Fair market value.
30,000.
Okay, 30,000.
And also, some of the activity that was done before the loan defaulted, to my understanding, this guy thought that he had a right to do something with the equipment
That's correct.
before it ever defaulted. and there was nothing we could do then because the loan was in default.
I see, okay.
So once the loan becomes defaulted,
So we've got the 30,000.
then we can collect after.
And you're satisfied with that is fair price for it?
That's a fair price for some of the equipment, but
Is
there's,
there still some that haven't been sold?
I think there's still some equipment that was not on the bond list. And that's what we were going off of initially on the appraisals. That there was, there's certain equipment listed in the bond documents. And, but there's other equipment down there that we did not have that on, and that's what we're in discussions with.
Bill, we've been told of this woodworking equipment for the furniture plant. It's kind of like textile equipment. This equipment sitting over yonder in the Munsware building costs $100,000 a year, but it wouldn't be worth it. Want somebody to give you, haul it off. And those firms are manufacturing equipment stored in warehouses from North Carolina to Mississippi. Dozens and dozens and dozens of them. The furnace plant shutting every down every day, and there's no demand for old antique furniture, woodworking equipment. And that's what the man told us.
So its value doesn't have any, very little value, is that what you say? But you've already gotten, anybody, you've already got 30,000,
Right.
but that's not all of it.
We don't think so. Right.
All right, thank you, sir. Let's see. Now, according to the paper, there's somebody that was sort of in charge of that had stolen some of the equipment before it went belly up, didn't he? Who was he?
That's one of the allegations.
What's his name?
That's Jeff Sternberg.
Where is he?
Last point's unknown, somewhere in Florida.
Has there been any attempt to find out what he's got and where he's got it and how much it's worth?
There has been some attempt, but if you know Mr. Sternberg, you might understand the problem with that.
I see. We don't know where he is?
No, the last he was told was not to come back in the state of Alabama, but
He was told to vamoose?
yes.
What if he took the equipment with him?
We put him in jail. We locked him up and had him in jail here for what, 2 months?
Okay.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think so.
Okay, let's see. I noticed somebody in this article here said we've made attempts to sell we've made attempts, I'm not talking about y'all, we've made attempts to sell the building. Were you familiar with that somebody was attempting to sell it besides y'all?
Right.
Who was that?
That was Mr. Hamburg. He was trying to.
I see, okay.
He was trying to sell, I mean, of course, if he did, it would have been still subject to the city's approval and the city getting paid off before any deal could have been done. So him saying that I was selling the building was a little misleading. But, the city is marketing the building. We have made the state folks, economic development team aware. We've made the Alabama Power team aware that we have this building. It's in relatively good shape. Especially there's just not many buildings in this county. In fact, it's really the only viable building in this county that's existing at this point up until this building at Fulton Bridge gets built.
Has there been an appraisal made of the building since they left it?
There has been an appraisal.
You know what it was appraised at?
I want to say around a little over $2 million.
About what?
A little over $2 million.
All right.
Bill,
Yes,
we
sir.
got something clear. Sure. Nobody sitting at this table had anything to do with that building. We didn't issue the first bond issue. We didn't issue
I
the
know.
second bond issue. And we didn't let the multimillionaires off of the hook on the guarantee. Now, we are gonna protect the city of Hamilton. We're gonna protect the citizens the best we can. But we're not gonna take responsibility for what happened to that building.
When it went belly up, it became your
I
responsibility
said
to look at
we
it
are
first.
gonna protect the citizens.
And talk cheap, but take money to buy whiskey.
I said that.
Yeah.
That's all.
And that's what I want to know, if Scott knows I'm not directing anything him. Are we just going, are we going to get after these individuals? Can we do we have to dispose of something before we can sue them?
No, sir. That's what we.
You're going to sue them each time they don't pay, you're going to sue
Bill,
them?
you ask him
Wait just a minute.
let him, you
Okay.
ask him a question,
Excuse me.
he starts talking, and you interrupt him.
That's what everybody says.
That's right.
I don't mean to do that.
I understand. That's no problem. It may lead to that. I hope it does not. I hope that we're able to resolve the matter amicably with Mr. Hamrick and to the best interest of the city of Hamilton. You know, it may be something that we have to do to make sure that we get full value of our property. And if so, that's what we will do. But we'll look out for the city and make sure that, you know, nobody's taking us for a ride. And I understand the concern of people.
There's a lot of people concerned about this.
Sure.
You know.
And
Just because it fell on their hands doesn't mean that they're our leaders. They're supposed to look at this.
right,
And I'm glad to know somebody's doing something about it, especially you.
well, we're trying to do something about it and hope we do the right thing. If there's any blame in this matter,
I'm not placing any blame. I think you know how to get after them.
but
I'm sure you'll do it.
you know, it's an obligation you and I talked about that the city's going to be on the hook for until we pay it off, unless we put somebody else in there. And that's our best goal right now, is to put somebody else in there, get jobs going, and hopefully have somebody else pay for the building.
But we're not gonna wait on that before we go after these other
Oh,
people.
no, sir, I don't think that's not something we can afford to wait on.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Mayor. Nice to see you.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second.
Stand adjourned. I like your calluses down there for you.